Hello, welcome back. This is part 2, and this is very much the episode where I began rebuilding, realizing that life is long, I've got time. I hope this helps you today. My Nana died a little over a year ago at 98 and a half years, and I shared her with my 7 brilliant cousins. Despite being very career driven and being in not the most stable of love situations in my early 20s, my Nana asked me when I was going to have a baby. She loved a direct question. And my response was always, one day, all being well, if I'm lucky enough. And I didn't dare reveal that I wanted to be a mum so much. I had my first baby at 33. And when he was 12 weeks old, we went to stay with her with my dad. We had 72 hours together, and I was probably awake for about 64 of them. And I realized the special importance of the 4 generations being together. My Nana absolutely loved babies. So to be able to sniff and hold one of your own when they were in the staring, smiling stage was magic to witness. It was one of her dreams to become a great-grandparent. And she had watched her own dad become one. He died when I was 11, and I remember him. I really liked him, and I saw him frequently. And he used to save shiny 1Ps for me in his creaky, overfilled dresser. And I remember him being baffled by my mop-top hair shop Play-Doh set. Bold move of my parents, by the way, to let their child take Play-Doh to another person's house. Anyway, my Nana became a great Nana at 89, and her and my son are both October birthdays, and she really loved that. Obviously, she was a great Nana before, but I'm talking in terms of the great-grandparent status. When you are in the process of figuring out life, impatience can really rattle you. Your inner Veruca soul erupts from nowhere. But I want it now. Where is it? It's not fair. And if you don't check your inner Veruca soul, you can really get sucked down your own garbage chute and not make it out of the golden egg room. Impatience's best friend, self-sabotage, then joins the party and starts telling you how it's never going to happen, you'll never be able to make it work, things like this don't happen to people like you, and you may as well give up now and you'll only be disappointed, etc., etc., etc. And this is where you need to interrupt and remind yourself that you have time, all being well. Life is long and a process. And I don't believe that we can be happy and connected and satisfied and in flow all of the time. Not only because life presents challenges, and it would be strange if we just stuck on a fake smile and pretended that all was well. Often, life works seasonally. We have the full bloom, and then we have the shedding. Then we have to rest and reflect. And then we have to trust the process and believe that things are going to bloom again, and they do. And just when you may begin to lose hope in February and doubt whether we will see a bright sky ever again, the daffodils promptly pop up. Another spring is coming. My Nana's time to become a great-grandparent was at 89 years old, not a minute before. Not only did she have 1 great-grandchild, she actually ended up having 7. And she met and sniffed and held them all. One of the daily conversations, challenges, conflicts I have in my household is about resilience. Instinctively, I want to give my children everything. I want to keep them safe, content, happy. I want to fulfill their wishes, to keep a smile on their face and be a jolly, happy, non-shouting mummy at all times. However, this is not possible because I'm playing the long game. The big game, the who do I want to raise in this world game. And that's why I say no sometimes. I'm quite strict with my expectations. I have conversations with them that are hard when it may be easy to satisfy them in the moment with some sweets and the telly. And they also do get the sweets and the telly, but I'm honest with them, always. I tell them that they can be, do, have anything that they want. It's all possible, but it does take work, patience, practice, determination, tenacity, and often you don't want to do it. I tell them openly and candidly when I don't want to do something that I'm committed to, and then they watch me do it anyway. I started to apply those parenting standards to myself. They were working for my kids. I love it when you overhear them being lovely to one another. And I started to love and care and nourish and nurture myself hard. I started to speak nicer to myself. I slowed down to see the big and the small wins. And I recognized how far I've come. I began to question why I was always hustling, and for who and for what purpose. And I opened myself up to the possibility that I could find the ease in things. When I turned 30, I had a clear idea of all the things that I wanted to do in that decade. When I turned 40, I had a clear idea of who I wanted to be at 50. I didn't want to accidentally stumble upon 50 and then be a bit disappointed with all the moves that I hadn't made. I wanted to be intentionally creating a vision and then walk towards it. So therefore, I had to get very detailed about that vision. What it was, what was in it, what it wasn't, what I was doing, who I was being, how I felt, where I was, what surrounded me, and colour it all in. No mysterious, vague, kinda, sorta, maybe whimsical ideas. If the ideas were far-fetched, but came from a soul pool in their multicoloured, unfinished beauty, I will figure out how to make them happen as I go. I mean, I know how biological children are made. I made some, and I grew them, and I birthed 2 of my own, and it still absolutely blows my mind. The logistics and the possibility and the rare chance, and therefore my own body. It's the weirdest, most wonderful thing. In creating the vision, I felt as though I had everything in one space. Not just a pokey cupboard or a room, an expansive, infinite space. And that's why I like going to Hampstead Heath early in the morning. It feels cheeky and delicious to have that much space to myself in the middle of central London. Once I had the vision, it became clearer what I needed. The shedding continued. The steps became clearer. There was a bounce in the steps sometimes that was beginning to show. I turned up the brightness. I turned off notifications. I limited my screen time. I stopped learning from people I didn't like or didn't get a good feeling from, even when they were successful. I thought about the work that I wanted to do, and I scrapped all the success stories that were not in alignment with my circumstances, personality, goals, and values. I went to bed early, and I got up early. I observed what was going on in the industries that I wanted to work in, and I considered how I could contribute, add value, solve problems. And I started with everything. All the ideas, thoughts, feelings, it was all welcome. And everything was tested on my body. Did it feel good? Energized? Expansive? If not, try something else. I ignored so many of the ways I'd been taught over the last 25 years. I've consumed so much advice, templates, formulas, hacks, and so I needed to make sure that they weren't subconsciously running the show. Instead, I came back to this. In an ideal world, how would I do this? And I started there. I figured out if it felt good, it was much more likely to be a possibility. Fast forward to today, I feel settled once again. Do I have all the answers? Definitely not. Do I have more than I did? Yeah. I feel connected and excited about my work once again, in flow with my creativity. I've given myself permission to add my USP to it all and not just follow the Instagram herd. My vision is clear about what I want to do next. And it's not just a floating, oh, that would be nice to have feeling. This work is part of a bigger conversation and creating an excellent impact on the world. I have been observing what's needed and what people are craving, why progress isn't being made, where the gaps are, the messy middle places I could support and solve. Stay tuned for part 3.